Harper's Bazaar published the 50 hottest men of all time article, and standing tall at number 25 is the one and only Duke of Sussex himself. Harper's Bazaar decided to delight us with news that we already knew, and that's the fact that Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, is the hottest man in the royal family. But he's also the 25th hottest man of all time. Holy guacamole. So we have to talk about that. We're also going to take a look at the other people on that list because I suspect that he should move up a couple of notches on that list, but we'll see today. But I also want to give a disclaimer. Y'all do not have my consent to gawk at that lady's husband. But for the purposes of research, I think today of all days, it's okay. And it's only to research Harper's Bazaar's claims. Because after all, we want to be accurate. So in the meantime, before we get into this list, don't forget to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to share so more people can find us. And today I am off screen because let's be honest, y'all not looking at me. You're looking at number 25. So let's get into it. All right. And like I said, this article is in Harper's Bazaar and it was written by Lauren Alexis Fisher and it's titled The 50 Hottest Men of All Time. But it's actually just for this last 6 decades, from James Dean to A$AP Rocky and all that's in between. Now, right out the gate, this collage tells me everything I need to know about this list. They did not come to play. I trust what's on it. So let's get into it. There's no shortage of beautiful men in Hollywood. From old Hollywood icons to contemporary heartthrobs, sexiness is a through line for some of the most famous male celebrities to have ever graced our screens. But how exactly do we define sexiness? As it turns out, it has much less to do with simply the angles of these men's chiseled jaws or the contours of their muscled abdomens, although those factors certainly help. Instead, it has everything to do with how they carry themselves, their confidence, their skills, and their charisma. From James Dean to Michael B. Jordan, the following 50 men have enough star quality to charm the entire globe. Keep scrolling ahead to see who made it on our list of the most beautiful men of the last 6 decades. So they started with number 1. Usually there's a countdown to number 1, but they actually started with number 1, which makes sense. So I actually want to come back because I want to skip ahead because I know that Prince Harry is number 25 and I want to read what they had to say about Harry. And then I want to go up from there to see who was ahead of Harry and determine if that should have been the case. Now, again, I'm going to go ahead and let you know I am a little bit biased. I mean, if you've been here for a while, but I'm going to be honest. So I think James Dean is a good number 1 because he's just like the classic heartthrob. But I feel like if he existed today, I don't know that he would be number 1 or what, I mean, not to be ugly. I just don't feel like, I think it's more so about his quality and his star quality and the time period in which he existed and his impact then. But that has carried over into now. That's why I feel like he's a great number 1. However, I'm biased. If I could have picked a number 1, I absolutely would have picked Patrick Swayze, but that's just me. Let's move on. This isn't about me. Let's go down to number 25. I mean, I saw Cary Grant on the list and Paul Newman, so I'm good there. I'm good there. Let's see. Oh, Denzel. First of all, we're going down to number 25, but the fact that Denzel is number 11, now, girl, whoever made this list, I'm looking at you crazy. But let's go down. So we're going to go to number 25. And Harry ranked 25 out of 50. That is insane. First of all, great photo. Excellent photo. He looked really nice here. He looked really good. But listen to this caption. Now, see, this is what had me looking at Lauren Alexis Fisher. I was looking at her crazy because, girl, did you do any research? Who wrote these captions? Now engaged to Meghan Markle, the younger of British princes, has long remained one of the most covetable bachelors in the world. Peak level of hot, that time he played a game of ball with a group of British children. Like, I'm not trying to be ugly, but first of all, girl, they've been married with 2 kids for a while now. Like, girl, you've missed a lot. I would have liked for them to be a little bit more current with their captions. And I double checked this article. It was published October 21st, 2024. So Harper's Bazaar, there is no excuse. Now, come on now. But anyway, number 25 is a great number to be sitting at out of 50 for the last 6 decades. That's crazy. But let's see who ranked higher than Harry. And before we do that, let me know in the comment section or in the live stream, if you're in the live stream chat, let me know if you feel like number 25 out of 50 is a good number for Harry. I personally feel like with some of the people that I saw us pass, I actually think Harry should have been much higher. But let's continue. All right, number 24, Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay, yeah, Jake is a cutie patootie. Let's see. Oh yeah, Idris Elba. Okay, number 23. Idris should have been a little higher. Yeah, he absolutely should have been higher. Now listen, I love Ryan Phillip, or Felipe. Is it Felipe or Philip? I love him, and I love his ex-wife Reese Witherspoon. I think they're great, and their kids look exactly like them, which is so funny. I mean, identical. I think he is a good-looking guy. I personally do not think he should have been ranked higher than Harry or Idris Elba. Like, we can start there. Lenny Kravitz, yeah. Now, who picked the pictures? Because Lenny has some pictures that y'all could have used here. I would have loved that. Yeah, Harry should have ranked higher than Justin Timberlake. In his heyday, now, whenever, Harry is way hotter than Justin Timberlake. Now, come on now. Pharrell Williams. I'll say this. I think Pharrell Williams is an icon in so many ways, from fashion to music, what have you. I don't know that this makes sense to me. Now, again, this is all subjective. So we all are going to have our own opinions. So that's what makes it fun. Nobody's literally right or wrong. This is all subjective. But let me know, do y'all think that Pharrell Williams should be on this list? And if you do you think he should be number 19 out of 50? Just let me know. I don't think Pharrell Williams should be higher than Harry. That's just me. Jared Leto absolutely should not be higher. Did Harper's Bazaar owe some favors? Okay, maybe. I don't know. I like Jared Leto, and I am actually one of the few people who actually enjoyed his portrayal of the Joker. It wasn't my favorite, and I did have like some icks about it, but I actually think had he been reined in and directed well, I actually think he could have been an outstanding Joker. But I saw the material. I just didn't think the execution was the best. Heath Ledger, yeah. Heath Ledger has always been hot. It's so sad that his life and career ended so early. I would have loved to see what his life would have and his career would have turned into. He was a phenomenal actor. But also, number 17 on this list makes a lot of sense. Ricky Martin. I like Ricky Martin a lot. And I do think Ricky Martin is hot. I don't know that I would have put Ricky Martin at 16, though. I absolutely wouldn't have put him above Harry or Heath Ledger. No. But I love me some Ricky Martin, so I'm not going to complain. Leonardo DiCaprio at 15. He is criminally low. Now, Leo nowadays might not look the best, and his reputation is kind of crap for some interesting things. But as far as his hotness, he should absolutely be much higher. Like, now, come on, don't play with me. Let's see. Brad Pitt. You can't argue with, but now he seems to be a pretty icky person as a human being, but hotness, oh yeah. I don't know that I would have picked this picture. It's a good picture, but who picked these photos? Harper's Bazaar, because he absolutely should be much, much higher, and that should have been a much better photo. The Bachelor himself, but now he is married to the one and only Amal Clooney. I love me some Amal, and her husband is handsome. I think they are very much equally yoked. She is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And yeah, he's a good looking guy. But he gets extra hotness factors because of his wife. So when your wife is just as, if not more hot than you get extra factors. Hey, Kurt Cobain. Okay, so I feel like icon status, especially in the music world, Kurt Cobain is definitely on that list. Hotness. Now, I'm trying to separate hotness from impact. I don't know that Kurt Cobain belongs on this list, to be fair. I think he's excellent. And his story is iconic and tragic and something that will forever live on in the music world, in the history of the music world. And I get all that icon status. I get that. His lore is also really huge. Like, his lore around him is damn near bigger than he is. But I don't know that he belongs on a list of hotness. I also don't think he ranks higher than George Clooney and Brad Pitt and Prince Harry. I don't think that he belongs on this list, and I absolutely don't think he belongs higher than those men. That's just my opinion. The one and only Denzel Washington, who should be number one. I mean, let's just be real. Denzel should be number one. Denzel should absolutely be number one on every list that rates hotness of any kind. From smiles to eyes to nose to ears to mouth to hairline to goatee to freckles to shoulder pads. Like, this is always going to be the hottest man of any room, anytime, no matter what. He should be number one. We're just going to erase this second one right here. He was so hot, number one, they gave him two. Let's just say that. Denzel Washington should absolutely be higher. Richard Gere should not be higher than Denzel on any list. Now, Richard Gere was a hottie patati, but he is not higher than Denzel on any list. And he's absolutely not higher than Prince Harry. Let's not play this game. Anyway, or Idris Elba. Get real. Clint Eastwood. Okay, I think his fan base would feel very confident that number 9 is good for him. And I'll give them that. Robert Redford. Again, icon status cemented. I don't know that he belongs at number 8. He absolutely is not hotter than Denzel. He's not hotter than Prince Harry. He's not hotter than Brad Pitt, and definitely not George Clooney. Like, let's anyway. Y'all let me know what y'all think of these rankings. Steve McQueen. Sure, I get it. Actually, I get it. Let's keep going. Yeah, that makes sense at number 7. I don't want to piss a lot of people off. I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, here's the thing. I understand people's feelings about Elvis. A lot of people are still to this day are in love with Elvis, and they loved his career and they loved what he did in the music industry. I don't know that number 6, as far as hotness, is where he belongs, but that's just me. I'll leave it there. I get it though. Like, here's the thing. I don't agree, but I do get why people feel that. Why people feel so attached to him and think he is just the hottest thing that ever walked this earth. I see what you see, but I also don't agree. So I'm not invalidating anybody's perspective of hotness. I get it, especially for his time. He was absolutely the bee's knees. So I get it. And I can see the eyes. Yeah. You know what? I actually get it. Okay, you know what? I've changed my opinion. I don't know that you belong in number 6, but you definitely belong high on the list. I've changed my mind right in front of y'all. Paul Newman. Now, see, this for number 5, I get 100%. 100%. I mean, the full package. I get it. I think I'm starting to realize I have a type. Rock Hudson, child, you do not belong in number 4. Listen, I understand. Like I said, impact, lore, historical figure in Hollywood. I get all those things, but that doesn't equate hotness. It's part of it. It's one of the factors, but it's not the overarching reason to have him on a hotness list. Rock Hudson is nowhere near. He certainly shouldn't be ahead of Paul Newman. He absolutely shouldn't be ahead of Prince Harry or Denzel or Idris Elba or Brad Pitt. Like, that's just my little musty opinion. I just think he was a person of his time. Cary Grant. Number 3 is good. I'm good with this one. I'm good with the Cary Grant. I'm good with this one. You know, he's been in some of my favorite movies, and he's always so debonair. I wouldn't have picked this photo, though. I think this photo is interesting to pick because Cary Grant has some photos. I think Cary Grant should have had a much better photo chosen for him. Marlon Brando. Hotness only. He absolutely should not be above any of the people I've mentioned so far. I'm just being honest. I don't get it. But yeah, James Dean, number 1. I don't think he's hotter than any of the people I've mentioned, but I do get his impact and I get why people feel the way they feel about him. So sure, number 1 is fine. Let's see who else is on this list. So far, I feel like Harry should have been, I feel like most of the people that I've mentioned should have been way higher on the list, but I think Harry should have been sitting at like number 10, to be real. I think he should have been at number 10 as far as the people who came before him. Like, look, some of these people should not even be on this list if we just gonna be real. Okay. We're just gonna pause real quick. Yeah, this is a great photo. Okay, he's followed by John Stamos. People, I think because John Stamos mostly has his bread and butter in comedy, I think a lot of people forget just how hot he is a lot of times. But John Stamos is a cutie patootie. He's always been the full package. When I was little, I actually thought he and Ricky Martin were related because they have a lot of side profile photos that look dang near identical. Tyson Beckford. I'm glad they get so often people leave him off of lists like this. And I think it's just because he should have had a much bigger career in acting. But, he was a model. I think he is definitely belonging on this list. Number 27, he's criminally low. Orlando Bloom. Deduct points because he's with Katy Perry. But I cannot stand her. But he's actually a good looking guy. All right, coming in at number 29 is Ryan Gosling. I actually see a lot of debates about him and what people like about him, but I actually get it. I think he is a hottie patati. I don't see anything wrong with him being on this list. But what do y'all think? Now, John Legend, what are you doing here? John. Now, how did you get into the party? John Legend is number 30. I'm going to be honest. I don't think John Legend belongs on this list. I think he's a handsome guy. I just don't think he's one of the 50 hottest men of all time, especially not at number 30 out of 50, child. But also he looks like Arthur. So it's hard for me to see him as hot, but whatevs. Ryan Reynolds, why are you so low on this list? Ryan Reynolds, despite how people feel about him, he should absolutely be much, much higher on this list. Bradley Cooper is criminally low. 32, the Bradley Cooper. And he's below John Legend. And listen, I'm not trying to be ugly, but why are y'all playing in our face? I don't know how people feel about Bradley Cooper, but I will say this. I love Bradley Cooper. Ever since Wedding Crashers, he's been one of my favorites. Also, Failure to Launch. Oh, such a great movie. What an amazing cast. But how can you deny this face? At 32, this is so low. Oh, no. And I'm going to say something that people will probably hate me for, but I really loved him and Zoe Saldana together. I really wanted them to go to the distance. I really thought they were such a cute couple. Channing Tatum, why are you so low? Channing Tatum is a hottie patati. Why is he so low? Matthew McConaughey at number 34. Oh my goodness. And he's below Ryan Phillippe. Stop playing in my face. This is ridiculous. I'm about to actually... y'all want to protest? Let's protest. I'm going to start a petition to change this list around. Drake... At this point, I think she just wanted us to have a little light in our lives by having a little comedy. This mess is a list. This list is a mess. Drake, why are you even in the room of hottest anything? I'm not saying that he's not an excellent lyricist or his team of excellent lyricists aren't doing a great job. He's made some amazing music over the years. He definitely defined my college years. But let me just say this. There is nothing about this man to me that is hot. I would not categorize him as hot. I think he has I think he has an allure to a certain type of person. And I think that's great that person can see their interests on this list. But number 35, get out of here. He should have been at number 185. Negative. He should not be on this list. John Cho, hey. I'm glad to see you getting some representation. He is absolutely one of the hottest guys in Hollywood, and I hate to see how he's left out of those conversations. I'm a huge fan of John Cho. I think he is such a good-looking man. John Hamm, another one who is always getting the shaft when it comes to hotness in Hollywood, but he absolutely deserves to be on this list. But I also want you to take a look at this face and ask, should Drake be ahead of me? No, absolutely not. And neither should, hold on. Ryan Phillippe should absolutely be ahead of John Hamm. But Drake, who else was on this list that I didn't like? John Legend, you walk into a bar. Ladies, please answer this question, or those who are attracted to men, answer this question for me. You walk into a bar, you are in your Friday night finest or Saturday night finest, because I'm old, I don't go out on Fridays. If I work that day, I'm not about to go anywhere else. You're in your Saturday night finest. You are looking good, smelling good, feeling good. You ate a little bread in the car, so you're not exactly hungry. So you're ready to party. and you walk in and there are two men ready to buy you a drink. One of them is John Legend. The other is John Hamm. Do you make a left or do you make a right? Where are you going to go? You are absolutely not going to go sit with the potato. You're going to go sit with John Hamm. This list is a mess. Anyway, let's continue. Oh, who put Michael the B. Jordan at 38? The Michael B. Jordan is lower than John Legend. He's lower than Kurt Cobain. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. He should absolutely be he should be top 5 at least. Michael B. Jordan, but I think this, again, all of this is subjective. Michael B. Jordan should be up there with Denzel, and Denzel and Michael B. Jordan should be way up there near the Cary Grants of this list. Get out of here. He should be number 5 at the lowest. I could do this all day. I'm now mad. Did y'all not see Creed 3? Not all the Creeds are good, but Creed 3 in particular, something shifted. This man is one of the hottest men to ever walk the planet. And he's at number 38. He's below John Hamm. I just gave John Hamm all those props. Like, this is just, Anyway, just one more. I'm going to give you one more time to God. One more time to God. Because he's not married. So y'all can gawk at him. David Beckham, I get it. He's always just been a hottie patati. Rami Malek. Okay. He is an excellent actor. Excellent actor. Gonna move on. Now, see, I love love and kindness, and I never want to be ugly, but Donald Glover has no business being anywhere near a hottest anything list. No offense to him. He is amazing, but he'll be the first one to tell you, why the hell did y'all put me on this list? They must owe some debts, and this is how they're trying to pay him back, because Donald Glover does not need to be on this list at all. He don't even need to be looking at the list. No offense to Donald Glover. He's a good looking guy, but we're talking about 50 hottest men of all time, but more specifically, the last 6 decades. I passed 17 people on the street walking my dogs this morning that should have been on this list higher than Donald Glover. Get out of here. Anyway, Joe Manganiello is below Donald Glover, John Legend. Like, I'm not being ugly, but get out of here. They rate Joe Manganiello lower than John Hamm and Ryan Phillippe. They said this man is not as hot as Ricky Martin. You know what? Let's just continue, because now I'm going to throw this computer. A$AP Rocky, what are you doing here? You're married to Rihanna, or with Rihanna. And so that earns you somewhere near this list. But I'm sorry. I think all these men are actually good looking men. None of them are just like boot-faced ugly. But I do think the list set us up with a certain standard. And then it just started skydiving away from that standard. I think A$AP Rocky is a good looking guy, though. Like, he is a good looking guy. And I think he and Rihanna are a beautiful couple. I don't think he belongs on this list, though. Alexander Skarsgård. Okay. Okay, sure. What do y'all think about him at number 44? Y'all let me know. Dev Patel. Or is it Dev? I always say Dev, but I think it's actually like Dave Patel. I think he belongs way higher on this list. He is so cute. And I actually loved him in, what is that movie called? It's going to kick my butt if I don't. Hereditary. Criminally underrated movie. It's such an amazing movie. But yeah, he is excellent in that. He's so handsome. Did y'all see him in Old? I would love to hear his thoughts on what he felt like old, how he felt old ended up. What was the end result of that? I'm sure he has thoughts, but he did a good job in the movie. Henry Cavill. Why are you so low on this list? I'm angry. 46. They told us that John Legend was hotter than Henry Cavill. Get out of here. And who picked this photo? There are 1,000,001 different photos that y'all could have chosen for Henry Cavill. Anyway, let's continue going. Let's not waste all the time. Chris Hemsworth. Again, John Legend is supposed to be hotter than Chris Hemsworth. Alexander Skarsgård is supposed to be hotter than Chris Hemsworth. It's Stop wasting my time. They said, wait, I just realized Donald Glover is hotter than Chris Hemsworth to this person. I think I should do my own list. Y'all, if y'all had to pick your top 10, 50 or 10 hottest men in Hollywood for the last 6 decades, what would it be? If you have the time, let me know. Top 10. And then from there, I'll try to put my own list together. Zayn Malik. I can actually see it. I can see it. I don't know that he belongs at 48. My gosh, they got him so low. Mahershala Ali. Yep again. Yep again. Cary Fukunaga. I see it. I actually see it. Yeah, I don't know that he belongs so low at number 50 though. I'd also like to mention, where's Boris Kojo? Where's Will Smith? Like, we're missing some real people. Will Smith, Boris Kojo. Who else? There's some more chiseled faces. Oh my God. Blair Underwood is not on this list, but Donald Glover, but and Rami Malek is on this list, but not Boris Kojo. Y'all, get out of my face. Get out of my face with this. So I'm going to share who else I think should have been included on this list and who should not. Because why is Drake here? He shouldn't even be serving drinks to the 50 hottest men of all time. I'm sorry. It's just, this does not make sense. Okay, yeah, Ryan Gosling, you got the pass from me. So did you, Orlando Bloom. And so did you. I love that they put Tyson Beckford. He is always left off. I love that they put him on this list. Absolutely. John Stamos as well. Now, Prince Harry, number 25. At first, when I thought I knew what the list would consist of, I was like, 25 is a high number. And it is. To even be on this list is great. But I actually think he should be somewhere around 10 or 11. I actually don't think he should be 25. I think he should be number 10 or 11. I think Jake Gyllenhaal, the idea that Jake Gyllenhaal, who is very handsome, is hotter than Henry Cavill or Chris Hemsworth, actually, it cooks my goose. I'm not a big fan of that. Now, Idris Elba, 23, that's criminal. That is criminal. He should be much higher. Ryan Phillip, I'm glad you made it. I don't know that you belong higher than number 35, though. Lenny Kravitz, yep. Yeah. You know who else should be on this list? Maxwell, Eric Benet. I know it's only 50 people, but you have Justin Timberlake here. But you don't have Blair Underwood. You don't have Boris Kojo. I could do this all day. You don't even have Criss Cross. I'm aging myself. But no, all jokes aside, I definitely think some more people. Damon Wayans Jr. should absolutely be on this list. I know people are going to be like, what? What do you mean? But like, genuinely, he's goofy, so people ignore him. But Damon Wayans Jr. should be on lists like this. I get what they were doing with the top of this list, but no. Okay, but James Dean, you're cool at number 1. Y'all let me know what you think of this list. Cause see how they set us up here? And look at the photo they chose for Brad Pitt. This is what I meant when I said they should have chosen a better photo. This is the Brad Pitt photo they should have picked, not the one they had us looking at. Y'all let me know. I'm going to share some people who I think should have absolutely been on this list. And I also, like I said, I think Harry should have been way higher. I think several people shouldn't have even been on the list, but they also should have been way lower. But I do think they just saw Drake and was like, y'all, he need a win. It's been a rough year for Drake. He needs a win. But let me share who else I think should have been included on this list. On second thought, I'm not just going to say who should have been included. I'm going to give you my own top 50 after all. So this is my own personal list, and I'm excited to see what your lists are. If you want to let me know in the comment section or in the live chat what your top 50, top 20, top 5, whatever. Let me know in the comment section or in the live chat below. So I am actually going to start with number 50. And I'm going to say Terrence Howard should have been included on this list. Yes, he is eccentric, but he is a hottie patati. So he has to be included at number 50. Also, he was so cute in The Best Man. And I think that is the best he's ever looked. I would also have to say at number 49, Hugh Jackman. I could not believe that Hugh Jackman was not on this list. Hugh Jackman is gorgeous, but also as he ages, he just looks better. So definitely number 49 is Hugh Jackman. For me, 48 is still John Stamos. I did move him down, but that's because I had to include a lot of other people. And as you hear my list, you'll know why John Stamos had to be number 48. Also, as I was looking for photos of all of these people, John Stamos was one of the only people whose paparazzi photos and candid photos were just as gorgeous as his photo shoot and red carpet pictures. Take that for whatever it needs to mean, but that is just a gorgeous person all around. Number 47, Jake Gyllenhaal. I moved him down on this list again because there are more people that I wanted to include. But yes, number 47, Jake Gyllenhaal, he definitely needs to be on this list. Number 46, D'Angelo. I cannot believe D'Angelo was not on the original list. Now, D'Angelo is like one of the original heartthrobs of the music videos, of the music video days. When music videos were really, really hot, he had one of the most steamy and most talked about, one of the most iconic music videos of all time. However, the reason I chose the photo that I did and I didn't include a still frame from that music video is because he has actually come out in interviews and said that he does not like being considered a sex symbol. And that music video of How Does It Feel? Actually, that song is untitled, but most people call it How Does It Feel? Because me, Black people, we're going to call it what we want to. But because of that music video, he has been considered a sex symbol. And it's actually something that has contributed to different phases in his mental health and his mental illnesses over the years. And so he has talked about that pretty openly. And so I didn't feel comfortable using a photo from that video because he actually does not like it. Number 45, Eric Benet. Now, I know this is kind of a niche person because a lot of people don't know who Eric Benet is. He has a very niche audience, but I'm a huge fan of Eric Benet. And I just feel like he is gorgeous, especially when he first debuted. He debuted with a lot of other neo-soul singers, and they all kind of got grouped in together, but they actually did all have their own sound. But more importantly, they had their own look, which is not something I can say for today. Everybody look like everybody now. But back then, everybody had their own look and they kind of had their own trends and things like that. And Eric Benet was one of those people leading the pack. He has always just been gorgeous. But as he has aged, he has only looked better. I would even say when he first came out, he's cute around the house. But as he has aged, he has just become perfection. So I had to include him on this list at number 45. Number 44 will not surprise you because I mentioned him earlier, Maxwell. Not really sure why Maxwell gets left off these lists. Maxwell is gorgeous then and now. He is a beautiful person and he seems to have such a beautiful soul. But he's also just very handsome and debonair, but in such a carefree way. I love his whole look. Number 43, Dermot Mulroney. Little known fact about me, I am a big fan of Dermot Mulroney. He is top 5, one of my favorite male actors. I love him. I binge his movies all the time with my husband. We love Dermot Mulroney, and I had to put him on this list because that jawline, that nose, and those eyes. When you think of male hotness in Hollywood, you should be thinking Dermot Mulroney. Anyway, had to put him on the list. And then at number 42, I put Omar Epps. Now, listen, we all age, and as long as we're happy inside, it should not matter what we look like. However, this is a hottest list, and a lot of people have forgotten what Omar Epps looked like in the early 90s. And so I had to remind people, like, he's one of the original faces. Like, his eyes, are you kidding me? You just don't see faces like that anymore. A lot of people were introduced to Omar Epps with Love and Basketball, which, oh, boo-hoo. Because I was introduced to Omar Epps with Juice. And that's the look I've always thought of when I thought of him. So anyway, I had to put him on the list. Number 41 is a newbie for me, Lucien Laviscount. He's British. I think he's British. But he was in Emily in Paris. That's when I've seen him. And I was just kind of like, how is this the first time I've been introduced to you? What a gorgeous face. So I had to put him on this list. Number 40. Surprise, surprise, John David Washington. Now, a lot of people only know him because of his famous family. His mother was very famous on Broadway. His brother is an incredible director. His sister is an actress and a producer. His other sister is a producer. and his father is Denzel Washington. And so the Washington family is very talented. They've all actually started working on this project called The Piano Lesson. It was on Broadway, and now it's going to be it's in film, and I think it's going to debut on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. Or it could be going to theaters. I'm not sure, but it's about to come out. I've been seeing the premieres all over the world, and I'm ready to see this movie. But anyway, John David Washington, I was first introduced to him on one of my favorite shows called Ballers, where he played Ricky Jarrett, one of my favorite characters on TV. I had no idea his dad was Denzel. I just liked him. I thought he was great. But more importantly, because of this list, I just think he is handsome. I think he is gorgeous. I also love the types of projects that he picks. So that is one of the reasons why people don't really know him right away. It's because he picks really niche projects. They're not necessarily always mainstream, but he's also worked with some huge directors as well. So he is actually having a little boom right now, and I can't wait to see where his career goes. But he is just one of the hottest people I've ever seen to me. Now, again, that's one of the reasons why I actually have a little bit of leniency with the original list for Harper's Bazaar, because I was really critical. But when I started making this list on my own, I was like, oh my gosh, this is very hard, because I want everybody to be there and I want everybody at number one, because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So I had to be a little bit more honest and take some people off and add some people. But again, this is my list based on my taste. That's why I'm really excited to see what y'all think as well, because again, all of it is subjective. But I had to put John David Washington at number 40, and I hope to see him show up on more of these lists. Number 39, Ilan Noel. Most of you will know him from The Purge. He's in one of the Purge movies. I know him from Insecure. But also, is it the Photograph with Issa Rae? And so I really like Ilan Noel. I can't wait to see where his career goes. But just more importantly, he is just such a handsome person. He has such a handsome face. I remember when he was in season 2 of Insecure specifically, and everybody who watched that show was in love with Ilan Noel. So I remember there were literal petitions asking him to get an Instagram. So he has one now, ladies. So go check him out. Number 38 is Jeff Goldblum. You might be surprised by this, but I have thought Jeff Goldblum is one of the most handsome people in the world since Jurassic Park, and he has only continued to reaffirm that belief with time. He looks better now than ever before. So I had to put him on this list. Now, number 37 might surprise you, but follow me here. Sometimes people who are funny and are comedic often get overlooked when you talk about attraction for some reason. But I have to bring attention to Damon Wayans Jr. and Damon Wayans Sr. They're both going to occupy the number 37 spot, because just because they're funny doesn't mean they're not handsome. Both men are gorgeous. Yes, this is father and son. And they actually have a show out that just came out called Papa's House. And I watched the pilot. It's so good. Go check that out. I watched it on Prime Video, so you should be able to find it there. But anyway, I had to put them on this list. They're both gorgeous, and I cannot believe one of them, if not both of them, were excluded from the first list. I was just shocked. 36, Alexander Hodge. I discovered him on Insecure. I could not believe my eyes. I remember seeing Alexander Hodge and being like, whoa. Just whoa. Like, there need to be statues erected of this man. Like, he is absolutely gorgeous, and he should not have been left off the original list. Number 35, Mahershala Ali. Now, he was on the original list, but I had to put him on this one. He's gorgeous, perfect face, and those cheekbones. Sir, please make a mask of your face, because that kind of architecture is just perfect. Chef's kiss. Number 34, Chris Hemsworth. I don't need to explain why Chris Hemsworth is not only on this list, but at number 34, because he's Chris freaking Hemsworth. Enough said. He is Chris Hemsworth. And I can say the same thing about number 33, which is Henry Cavill. Now, this photo I had to pick because the original list, they included that odd photo. I had to show, like, this is Henry Cavill. We've got to show who Henry is. Hen, this is you. I had to show one of my favorite photos of him because he is gorgeous. And that other photo was very commercial. I said, you need to show the real Henry Cavill. Now, number 32 is specifically for Church Nelly. If I have to say it after that point, you haven't been here long enough. Nacho Figueres. He absolutely should have been on the original list. Nacho has been in so many different shows and movies with cameos. I had no idea he was that famous, y'all. It's so funny because once I learned who he was, Now, anytime I watch something or watch a movie or whatever, his name is constantly being dropped. I had no idea he was that big of a heartthrob. And for so long, I don't know where I've been. But let me just tell you, he had to be on this list at number 32. He should have been on the original list. And I'm sure you're happy just getting an opportunity to see another photo of Nacho Figueras, because aren't we all? All right, let's see. Number 31, I had to put Joe Manganiello. Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm so bad at saying that man's name, and I practice. I don't need to explain why. I don't need to explain why. And I was so sad that he and Sofia Vergara broke up, but they were a gorgeous couple. But they're beautiful apart as well, and I wish them nothing but happiness. But yes, he definitely belonged on this list. Number 30, Ryan Reynolds. He's one of the same, he kind of has the same issue that the Wayans have, is because he's funny, people often overlook just how attractive he is. But yes, Ryan Reynolds is gorgeous. And I wish he had done more rom-coms. I know that he has mentioned in interviews he's not a big fan of it, but man, is he good at it. Same with Matthew McConaughey, which we'll get to later. Number 29, Channing Tatum, because it's Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum is gorgeous. I have loved him since Coach Carter. I recently saw him in Blink Twice, and that is one of my favorite movies now. I hope everyone gets a chance to see it. It's a very good movie, but be prepared. They have a trigger warning for a reason, but it's very tastefully done. It's a very good movie. Also, he is engaged to Zoe Kravitz, so nothing but all the best for them. 28, Bradley Cooper. I can't say enough things about Bradley. I feel like because I went through the original list, I shouldn't spend a lot of time now because I went on and on about Bradley Cooper. But Bradley Cooper, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I can say. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. And I love his hair. That's my favorite part about Bradley Cooper is his hair. 27, Cary Grant. Just classic perfection when it comes to like Hollywood males. He is just... I feel like he himself is an archetype, is like the Cary Grant archetype. And a lot of leading men have tried to follow in his footsteps, and some have done a great job. Some of them are also on this list, but there is nothing like the original. 26, Ryan Gosling. I kind of feel like 26 and 27 should swap. Ryan Gosling, again, a lot of people love debating, like, Ryan Gosling is not hot. And I don't know where that came from. Like, it's subjective. He might not be hot to you. That doesn't mean he's not hot to anybody. But I definitely think Ryan Gosling should be on this list. And I think he's good at number 26. I kind of feel like I should have moved him down and put Cary Grant in front of him. But anyway, Ryan Gosling. Now, number 25 is no longer Harry, because that was a shame. That Harry should have never been 25. But number 25 might be controversial, but I want to bring us back to center. The reason this list exists is because we're talking about the hottest faces in Hollywood, the hottest male faces in Hollywood. And not just faces, but just overall, like they explain in the original, charisma, how they carry themselves, their swagger, all of that, hair, face, swagger, attitude, behavior, charisma, etc., etc., etc. And so I had to add him to this list. Not his profession, not his stance on things, just this face. Tupac Amaru Shakur. Now listen, I know people are going to be like, Sharion, you put Tupac on here? Yes, I put Tupac on here. He is handsome. He has one of the most beautiful faces I have ever seen. Not just Tupac the rapper, who you probably came to know him, but Tupac in Poetic Justice, Tupac in Juice, Tupac in Gridlock. Like, Tupac's face is one for the ages. And that smile. Anyway, he is number 25. Number 24 might also surprise you. Wesley Snipes, the Nino Brown. Nino Brown is the best role I've ever seen Wesley Snipes in, but I also loved him in Waiting to Exhale. I wanted him to have a much bigger role. But he's also Blade, and I hope he gets to reprise his role in some capacity alongside Mahershala Ali when they bring that back. It would be so cool to see them act together, but I don't know if they have the budget for that. I mean, it's Wesley freaking Snipes, for goodness sake. But anyway, one of the original chocolate drops of Hollywood. People love Wesley Snipes then, and they love him now, but he was definitely a leading man in the 90s, and he should still be a leading man today. Anyway, he's number 24. Number 23, my German brother, Boris Kojo. Now, he gets left off these lists a lot. And I think that's just, again, because the majority of his audience is Black and it's considered a niche market. And these lists aren't catered to diverse audiences, they are catered to white women. That's just how these publications operate. And so he gets left off these lists a lot because he's mostly in Black movies with Black audiences. But that's a shame because he's Boris freaking Kojo and he's gorgeous. And his wife is just as, if not more gorgeous than he is. He's married to Nicole Ari Parker. Boris Kojo is gorgeous. He also speaks fluent German. He is such an accomplished man. He's very athletic, but he's also an excellent actor. If you haven't seen him in anything, he was in Brown Sugar, which is my favorite role of his. But also, believe it or not, he is hilarious. If you've never seen Real Husbands of Hollywood, it's a TV show. It's a scripted show from Kevin Hart. Boris Kojo is on there and he is freaking hilarious. I highly recommend checking it out on Prime Video. That sounds like an ad. I promise they don't sponsor me. That's just where I find most of my shows. Number 22, he was on the last list and he's on mine as well, Tyson Beckford. I have no reason to explain why Tyson Beckford is on this list. He belongs on this list every day, all day, without question. He's just gorgeous. Number 21, Lenny Kravitz. Now, his daughter's fiance is also on this list, but Lenny Kravitz is everything. Everything about Lenny Kravitz. His hair, his face, his attitude, his voice, his talent. He is just all the things. And he has such an incredible backstory. If you ever get a chance, go look up Lenny Kravitz's backstory and how he found his way into Hollywood. It is so interesting. He is just an interesting person, but above all else, he's just so freaking debonair and handsome. So he had to be on this list. Number 20, Justin Shin. Now, most people might not know him, but I've seen him on The Brother's Son, which is on Netflix. He is a very skilled fighter in real life, but he's an incredible actor and he is so handsome. I want him to get leading man status. I want him on every red carpet that's coming up for the next 20 years. He's just got that leading man face, kind of like Alexander Hodge, kind of like Boris Kojo and Tyson Beckford. They have that like leading man face. Justin Shin has that face and the talent to back it up. And I want to see him in more leading roles, especially rom-coms. I feel like all male actors with that face, they got to pay their dues with the rom-coms. You have to pay their dues because you're going to build an audience with a rom-com that's going to follow you forever. Most of us still support Matthew McConaughey because of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and The Wedding Planner. Because we're supposed to. That's our guy. So if you want to make a big splash in Hollywood, you better go ahead and suck it up and do that rom-com. Number 19, left off the first list, and I don't know why, Michael Ealy. Michael Ealy should absolutely be on all these lists. Look at that face. As New York Tiffany Pollard would say, look at the material. Look at the material. I mean, it's Michael freaking Ealy, for goodness sake. Anyway, he loves playing a crazy person. Now, he is good at that. He is going to be a jilted lover. If he don't do nothing else, he's going to be a scorned, jilted lover in every movie, and I love it. Good roles all around. Number 18, Leonardo DiCaprio. He was on the last list. He's on this one as well. Classic face, excellent leading man. Not really sure what's going on with him in his personal life. I try to stay away from that because I'm always worried I'm going to find out something crazy about him. But yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio. Number 17, I put Paul Newman at number 17 on my list. I know he was much higher on the other list, but I had to put him at number 17 on my list just because I felt like gorgeous face, classic leading actor, just all around badass. Definitely belongs on the 50 hottest men of the last 6 decades list, but I felt like there were other people in present day who should be ranked a little higher as far as hotness. But he's still a hottie patati now. He's number 17 for me. Number 16 was Blair Underwood. He absolutely should not have been left off the original list. Blair Underwood has been in everything. I really loved Blair Underwood in Set It Off. That's my favorite role of his. I just think he was so perfect in that role. But I would have loved to have seen more rom-coms from him. He was in the movie Something New as the other guy, but I want him to be the lead guy. Anyway, he's number 16 and for good reason. Number 15, Brad Pitt. Now, Brad Pitt had the honor of being married to Angelina Jolie, and he screwed that up. But something he didn't screw up was his face. He's still gorgeous. He was gorgeous then. He's gorgeous now. He's got some new movies coming out, so I'm excited about that. But I hope he gets his personal life worked out, and he does right by his ex-wife and his children, all of his children. That's neither here nor there. Number 14, George Clooney. He was in the old list. He's on this list. I actually think George Clooney and Brad Pitt on my list should swap. I think I got that wrong. But anyway, George Clooney is gorgeous and he belongs on all these lists. Number 13 was Regé-Jean Page. I know him from Bridgerton and all of those Dior ads. He's gorgeous. He's an excellent leading man. Not really sure why we don't see him in more things, but I love him and I think he's great. And he has a whole team of screaming fans everywhere he goes. Women love him. So he should have absolutely been on the other list. For me, I put James Dean, who was previously number 1 on the former list. I put him at number 12 on my list. I'm just going to be honest. I know in his heyday, he was the bee's knees. And honestly, he was like one of the first, like to be considered like that leading man archetype. So I get it. But I wanted to be fair. As far as my personal opinion of hotness, I felt like he was a number 12 on this list. Not to take anything away from him, though. He's gorgeous. Number 11, some of you might not know of him as much as I do because I'm always on Netflix, but Adam Demos. He was the leading man in Falling in Love, as well as the Netflix show Sex Life, alongside his current girlfriend. But he is an excellent leading man. I feel like he's from New Zealand, but I'm not sure if I got that right. I know in the movie Falling in Love, he played a Kiwi, but I'm not sure if he actually is from New Zealand. So I'll have to let y'all know. But yeah, he is an excellent leading man, gorgeous face. And as far as hotness, he belongs right here on this list. Number 10. Now, some of y'all, I'm going to need you to calm down. Do not overreact. I don't need y'all screaming at your phones or computers or TVs, wherever you're watching this. I'm going to whisper his name so that I don't cause any reactions. Morris Chestnut. Everybody calm down. Oh my goodness. He is such a heartthrob. Now, many of you know him from The Best Man, the movie series and the TV series. He's been in everything under the sun, but I was first introduced to Morris Chestnut in Boys in the Hood. And of course, he played Ricky, and we'll just leave that there. But he lived. The real Ricky lived, and he went on to be in the NFL and get married, and then his best man slept with his wife. So I like to pretend that's actually how the story ends. But anyway, Morris Chestnut is just gorgeous. He's one of the people that I mentioned, kind of like Boris Kodjoe, because the majority of his movies, the audience is Black. And I think these lists leave him off because he has a majority Black female fan base. So it's a shame because he's absolutely hot and he should absolutely have been acknowledged. Number 9. Matthew McConaughey. Oh, I love a good old Texan. Matthew McConaughey, Texas. I think he's Texas born and bred. I know he was raised here. I'm not sure if he was born here, but he is a Texan through and through. I love him. Growing up, I wanted him to marry Sandra Bullock because she is also from Texas. And I thought that would make such a beautiful couple. But anyway, I love Matthew McConaughey. I think he is gorgeous. He needs to have way more rom-coms under his belt. I know he doesn't really like them, but he's so good at them. I want him to do more. Yeah, he's number 9 on my list. Number 8, the rightful place for Prince Harry. He should not have been 25. Prince Harry definitely belonged in the single digits. He is gorgeous, and he's one of the men on this list that are just as hot as the wife they married. Both of them competing for the hottest in that household. They're definitely the hottest in their families. But yes, Prince Harry belongs at number 8. He is absolutely gorgeous, but also the way he carries himself. And here's the thing. I don't research the other people on this list. Like, I don't follow their life outside of their actual actor or their actual musician work. But Prince Harry, because of the nature of my channel, I research him all the time, as well as Meghan. And so I know about the work that he does on all fronts. And so I can't really attest to this with the other people, but I can say this. In addition to being very handsome, very nice body, great head of hair, excellent smile, very charismatic, very debonair. In addition to all those things, I would say he gets a couple of extra points for soul factor. He has such a pure soul. Just like his mom, just he's always trying to do the right thing. He's always trying to help people. He's always focusing forward on what's my next mission? How can I be of service? There's something so pure about a person with a good strength of character that you have to add a little sprinkle on top, because in addition to that being noble and beautiful and amazing, and we need more like it, it's also very hot as well. I love when I observe my husband. He's not on this list because he's not in Hollywood and I want to keep him to myself. But there's something so hot about my husband whenever he's like doing something for other people. Like there have been times where we've been walking somewhere and he'll be like, oh, hold on. And he'll go run and grab the door for somebody who we weren't even anywhere near them. Or he'll help people with bags to their car. He's always just looking to be very helpful. And I love that when I see him do that, and he's very giving and helpful and nice and noble to other people. It really warms my heart, but it's also very hot. That's not why he does it, but it's very hot. And so those same factors I'm applying to Prince Harry as well. It's like when you do for others, not only is it beautiful and noble and much needed, but very attractive. So good for you. Number 7 is Prince Harry's friend, Idris Elba. Do I need to explain this? He's Idris freaking Elba, or it's Idris Elba. I know we pronounce it very differently over here, but yeah, he's amazing. And when those rumors were going around that he was going to play James Bond, I loved it. But I actually like the idea of creating another very debonair crime fighting character, like secret spy kind of character instead. Like when he was in the movie Takers, that's kind of the role he played, except he was a criminal, which I actually liked that. I just want them to bring Takers back and let him be the leading man in that, and then create more of those qualities in that character. Anyway, he would make an excellent James Bond or otherwise. Number 6, Chadwick Boseman. He was left off the last list, but several members of the original list are deceased as well. So I was surprised that he was left off this. I had to put him on my list. He's number 6 on my list. Chadwick Boseman, God rest his soul, was such an incredible actor, but he was very beautiful. He has such gorgeous features. That smile could stop traffic, man. And he has the best eyes, or had the best eyes. I had to put him on this list. He was so gorgeous. I believe the movie is 21 bridges. I forgot the number, but it's like this movie where he plays a cop trying to stop a crime from happening. They crack a case. I love that movie. He is so gorgeous in that movie. And of course in Black Panther, the fighting scenes, some of y'all are still getting your jaws off the floor. So I had to put Chadwick Boseman on this list. Number 5, the Michael B. Jordan. Because he had no business being so low on that original list. Because what were y'all thinking? Michael B. Jordan, the Michael B. Jordan, Adonis, Creed. I mean, his name was Adonis in a movie, for goodness sake. I mean, they knew exactly what they had in that material. Michael B. Jordan should have been much higher. So he's number 5 on my list. Number 4, Pierce Brosnan. Now, okay, so let me go ahead and open up. The next 3 people I'm going to mention have been lifelong crushes of mine. So I'm actually going to keep it short and simple because y'all don't have all day to be here with me talking about men. So regard me. I have to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and let you know I'm very biased about the next 3. Pierce Brosnan has been a lifelong crush of mine as well. And so he's number 4. Number 3 has been a lifelong crush of mine, Will Smith. I cannot believe he wasn't on the original list. I would not do anything to piss off Will at this point. But Mike Lowry deserved to be on that list. He is absolutely phenomenally gorgeous. Will Smith has one of the best faces and best bodies in Hollywood then and now. But again, I think it's the same thing like with Ryan Reynolds and with the Wayans. Because he's so goofy and funny, people often overlook him. But no. Never get it twisted. Those eyes, that smile, you're not going to find that every day. That's special. That's Will. And then number 2, Patrick Swayze. Patrick Swayze has been my number 1 male crush my whole life. Genuinely, my whole life. And I remember one time I said something and my mom was like, "You like Patrick Swayze?" She was like, "When did you ever even see him?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just saw him and I love him." And she was like, "Okay, well, calm down. You don't have to love him, but he is handsome. But I don't know that he's the most handsome." And I was literally like, "Mama, he is the most handsome man I've ever seen." And she said, "Okay, fine by me." Like, I have always loved Patrick Swayze. I think he is gorgeous. He was gorgeous. And he was a dancer and a great actor. He's just such a talented human being, and I've just always loved him my whole life. And then, of course, number one for me, and number one that the person that should be number one on all of these lists, the one, the only Denzel Washington. Because how on earth do you have a 50 hottest men of anything and you don't include the Denzel himself? His name is an adjective. When people are trying to describe hot people, they say Denzel, like Denzel, or in comparison to Denzel, or, you're holding out for Denzel types. Let me just tell you this. There is only one Denzel Washington. And actually, I heard a rumor that his name was actually supposed to be pronounced Denzel. But because people always just called him Denzel, he just started going with it. It's kind of like me. My mom named me Sharion. But everyone just started calling me Sharion. And because I'm country as hell and I even pronounce it wrong, I just go with it. But it's actually supposed to be Sharion. But I prefer Sharion. Listen, eventually people will tell you what they want to call you. But Denzel actually had that same issue of people calling him Denzel. And I think it was supposed to be Denzel from my understanding. So yeah, cheers to Denzel. He should absolutely be number one. Always and forever. There is no hotter man that has ever graced the grounds of Hollywood in any capacity. Denzel is absolutely, to me and most of the world, the hottest man to ever enter or exist in Hollywood. And any list that does not put him at number one is a list that I'm going to be side-eyed. So he's absolutely number one on my list. So what do y'all think of my list? Let me know. Prince Harry being number 25 on the official list is great because that list had some excellent people. He was also the only royal on there. I caught that shade. But I have to say he belonged much, much higher. And so I had to correct that list. But this is where the fun begins. Now that you have my opinion, let me know yours in the comment section below or in the live chat. Now, that's all I have for y'all today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please don't forget to share so more people can find us. And don't forget, this list is just for fun. None of this is official and none of this is set in stone. This is literally subjective. So don't feel bad if the Lord, I've been talking too long. If the people you like weren't on this list, add them to your own list and then share that with me because I'm really curious as to where you would place everybody, who you would put on the list, who you would take out, etc. So y'all let me know. Thanks so much for watching. This was a really good time and I will see y'all next time. Bye y'all. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the SharionSade podcast.